Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to sit down and give a straight review of a game that I've spent quite a lot of hours playing over the past week, and that game is Pokémon Departure. If you're a fan of Pokémon mobile games, especially the kind of game with deep account building systems, then this is a video you should not skip, because I'm going to go very deeply into every system, from the gameplay loop to how you build Pokémon, the summon system, the things I genuinely think are worth it, and the parts I'm still not fully satisfied with. I'm not going to do random hype talk. I'm going to analyze it from the perspective of an actual player. So just sit back and watch this full video before deciding whether you want to download and play it or not. Before getting into the review, I want to quickly talk about where I'm playing this game, and that is through the X7 Game app, also known as the X7 Game app. This is actually a pretty interesting mobile gaming platform because they are pushing extremely heavy top-up discounts. On their game page, they clearly display a 99% off badge with the message about 0.1-fold top-up rates, meaning you spend a very small amount of money but receive value many times higher than normal. I think this is a huge advantage if you want to experience the game without spending too much money. The app is called X7 Game, developed by Shenzhen Xiangmi Network Technology Co. Ltd., and Pokémon Departure is currently on version 2.1.0.6 with a size of around 1.29 gigabytes. The installation process is pretty simple. You go to x7game.com and download the app. On iOS, there's one extra step where you need to open it using Safari and then trust the developer profile in your device settings, and after that, you can enter the game normally. As for gift codes, you don't need to search all over the internet because the X7 Game app already provides codes directly inside the app. You just need to check daily because the codes can change depending on the day and event. If one code doesn't work, it probably expired already, so checking the app every day is the best option. Now let's move into the part I enjoyed the most, which is the actual gameplay review. Pokémon Departure is a turn-based gacha RPG. Right from the beginning, when I entered the game and started combat, the first feeling I got was that this is not the kind of casual game where you just jump in and finish everything immediately. It has much more depth than I expected. The combat system revolves around building your Pokémon team, where each Pokémon has its own type and unique skills, and you need to calculate attack order as well as type advantages to optimize your damage. If you're already familiar with the Pokémon mainline games, then it won't be difficult to adapt, but if you mainly play mobile RPG games, you may still need some time to get used to the mechanics. One thing I really like is that the game has autoplay and X2 speed mode, which helps routine farming battles feel much less time-consuming. I usually leave auto X2 on for stages I already cleared, but for new stages or boss fights, I prefer playing manually so I can really feel the gameplay. Because of that, the pacing feels very balanced. It never feels like the game forces you to sit in front of the screen all day, but when you want to play deeply, there is still enough content to keep you engaged. Now let's talk about the summon system, because this is probably the part you care about the most if this is a gacha game. Summoning in Pokémon Departure uses tickets and diamonds, which are the two main currencies in the game. I noticed that the game has many different banners, and these banners gradually unlock depending on your account progression. That means you cannot rush everything from day one. You actually need to build your account step by step. This creates a clear sense of progression and prevents the game from feeling overwhelming at the beginning. And when you finally summon a Pokémon that you actually need, the animation that appears feels genuinely satisfying to watch, especially for the rare Pokémon. One of the systems that feels the most unique in this game is Mega Evolution. Once you build a Pokémon strong enough and unlock the required conditions, you can evolve them into their Mega form, and the stat increase is extremely significant. I tested Mega Evolution on several Pokémon that I currently use as my main units, and the difference in battle power was immediately obvious. It's not one of those fake upgrades that barely change anything. Besides Mega Evolution, the game also has a star upgrade system for Pokémon, meaning you can feed duplicate copies or materials to increase star levels and overall stats. And there is one detail that I think is actually pretty balanced, which is that Pokemon levels are capped by your trainer level. That means you cannot just spam upgrades on Pokemon while ignoring your main character. You need to develop both sides at the same time. As for the game content itself, I think Pokémon Departure has a pretty large variety of game modes to play. Besides the main campaign, there is a PvP arena where you can test the strength of your team against other players, a world boss mode where the entire server fights together, mini games that help you farm extra resources, and a fairly complete Pokemon library that allows you to track your collection progress. I especially like the library feature because it shows me exactly how many Pokemon I'm still missing and what I should aim for next, which creates a very strong collector feeling. If you are the type of player who enjoys completing collections rather than only focusing on the meta, then this game can keep you engaged for a very long time. The PvP arena is something I'm still exploring, but my first impression is that it feels very competitive. Team compositions in Arena are quite diverse, and players are using many different strategies instead of everyone following one fixed meta. That tells me the game has a decent amount of strategic variety, although I will also admit that I don't yet have enough data from higher ranks to make a final conclusion about it. As for the graphics and animations, this is another area where I'm pretty satisfied. The game runs at 60 FPS on the device I'm currently using, and the combat animations feel very smooth, especially the skill effects. When Pokemon enter Mega Evolution, the transformation effects are clearly well designed and not just a simple sprite swap. Overall, I would rate the visuals above average compared to most Pokemon mobile games I've seen. They are good enough to keep you playing for long sessions without making your eyes feel tired. Now, let me talk honestly about the things I'm not completely satisfied with, so this review feels more objective. First, because this is a gacha game, progression will sometimes feel slower if you fail to pull the Pokemon you need. This is a common characteristic of the genre, not necessarily a unique weakness of Pokémon Departure, but I still want you to know beforehand so you are not surprised. Second, because content unlocks based on account level, you need to invest time to access everything. If you are the type of player who wants to see every feature immediately from day one, then the early game might feel a little slow or impatient at times. Other than those 2 points, I think the game is fairly solid overall, and I did not run into any major issues during my time playing it. To summarize everything after spending many hours with Pokémon Departure, I think this is definitely a game worth trying, especially if you are a Pokémon fan and enjoy deep turn-based RPG gameplay. The game has enough systems to keep you engaged long-term, including summoning, Mega Evolution, star upgrades, PvP arena, world bosses, and the collector aspect through the Pokemon library. If you want to try it yourself, you can check it out through X7 Game. Their current version is running very strong top-up discounts, and don't forget to check the gift codes inside the app daily because they update them frequently. Remember to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and leave a comment below if you have any questions about the game, or if you want me to dive deeper into any specific system in Pokémon Departure. I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.